All right, we're live. This is Sound Booth Theater Live. Hello, everybody. This is a special episode for an upcoming release we got. We've been kind of keeping it a little bit of a secret until now, but we have the author, Antonio Terzini, here. Is that actually going to be your pen name too? Like,
I'm not really
or
sure right now. I might just
okay,
go with Idlefiber on the book, but I don't know.
Idlefiber on the book. Okay.
Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who does that, like, who just uses one of their screen names, but, in this context, like, the way that Royal Road has sort of been the path that authors take in the lit RPG genre, in general, to get to publication, it might make sense to do that, 'cause,
Well, I saw a couple other Royal Road authors do that, so I'm not sure yet.
really? Like who?
Um, you know, um, I think the mage, the blue Verilice, and he's got hold on. I'm not really sure what the name of the book is, but it's Verilice. It's one of the top stories on Royal Road. Kind of gave me the idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, maybe it'll work out. I mean, um, I know that. Oh, what's up, Phantom Kaiju? We got our first chat person showing up. Um, I know that when people are talking about Neven Ilyev, oh shit, I probably butchered his name again. The guy who wrote "Everybody Loves Large Chests," everyone still calls him Exterminatus. You know,
Yeah, I think that's kind of the problem because I don't have any notoriety with my real name at
right,
all.
right. Well, hell, why not? Is it all one word? Idle fiber.
Yeah, it's kind of
So
my pen name there.
okay. We can do that. I mean, there's no real reason why you can't. Um, m- my only issue is like it's your first book, so I don't know if people might mistake it for another piece of the title. But I'm sure you know what, we're getting a typographer on it, so
No,
I'm
you're probably
sure.
right. I haven't really put much thought into it to be honest. So
Okay. Well, we'll
we'll
we'll, we'll think
we'll
about
talk.
it,
Yeah,
but
we'll talk about it.
to be honest, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It might be a good idea for you to just use that screen name. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about the book and about your journey as a beginning author? This is your first book, right? And not just your first lit RPG.
Yeah, this is the first time I've actually written anything outside of a class for
Uh,
school, and I was pretty much just looking for something to read on Royal Road, and I saw a bunch of new authors on there. I was trying them out, and then I couldn't find anything to read that night, so I just decided to start writing because I had a couple ideas for a book. I didn't even know what I was going to do yet, so I just started writing. And then after I posted the first chapter, a couple people got on there, wrote some comments, were wondering where the next chapter is going to come out. So I just kind of continued it and kept picking up pace as I went along. There wasn't really a plan for it at all. It was pretty good the way it turned out.
nice. So you didn't outline it first. You just sort of they call that
Unfortunately, no.
discovery writing.
I had to kind of re-add the outline after like 10 to 20 chapters. I started doing the outline,
Uh huh.
but it was kind of problematic at first because I went down a road and then I did a couple chapters. Everyone was like, "Whoa, where are you going with this?" So I had to take those chapters out and then I had to redo it. That's when I did the
It's nice.
outline.
It's nice to get that instant feedback, huh?
Yeah, it is nice, but it can kind of be a little rough too for the when you get some negative comments. It can really wreck you. I know I
Yeah.
was checking the comments like every couple minutes when they were coming in at one point,
Uh huh.
and it was really just disastrous mentally. So
Yeah, well, tis the life of an artist to be constantly struggling with, the good and the bad criticism. But it's healthy, I think, overall.
yeah, it
Um,
definitely helps with the story direction. I think.
yeah, so
What
can you tell us, for people who haven't been reading it on Royal Road, can you give us a little summary of the book? Um, no
Okay.
spoilers, obviously.
So I kind of went the lit RPG genre where it's kind of like got game world mechanics, but it's in a completely fantasy world, not in kind of like a virtual reality situation. I wanted a world where if people died, they don't just like come back to real life because I found that to be a bit of an issue with some of the lit RPG I was reading, and I've always been in touch with fantasy. That's kind of my genre. So I built it in that, and then I wanted like a really harsh world where killing could be kind of justified, where people weren't just like, because that's kind of how you gain power in any lit RPG kind of situation. So I wanted it to be kind of rough, and then I just kind of expanded from there. Those kind of thoughts, and the way I started building the world, it was kind of slow, but I put a lot of thought into it originally. But once I got the outline to like a couple chapters, I got the outline for it. It kind of picked up.
Hmm.
Um, that's pretty much it.
All right, and can you tell us a little bit more about Dante here, who we're seeing as your profile pic, who's the star of the show? The
Yeah.
book
So
called Dante's Immortality.
so one
Well,
of
the
the things.
series.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry about that. One of the things I want to do with the book is kind of start out with like, since it was my first book, I want to start out with kind of like a blank slate for a character, and it kind of hurts the book I think originally for the first couple chapters until he builds up. But there's like a lot of character development there, and then he builds up his character over time. But pretty much he starts off in a city in the outer regions of the world where everything's kind of weak, and then as you get in the world essence, which is the experience of the world, the amount that you can get or the amount that you can acquire and the dangers that come along with it kind of increase as you move closer to the center of the world. So he starts all the way in the outside edge. He looks different from everywhere else, and he's kind of ostracized because of it. And he's pretty much just trying to figure out why he's the way he is and what he's trying to do. And the whole book's pretty much just about him surviving for now
All right.
in the
Well,
harsh world I built.
yeah, I've already gotten started reading, and he he definitely starts off in a harsh world. Like he's the noobest of noobs,
Yeah,
um, and everyone hates him because they probably rightfully think that he's demon spawn. I haven't gotten to the part where you've actually revealed exactly why he's got these red eyes and silver hair and stuff. But everyone picks on the guy. Everyone's pretty brutal to him. So yeah, it you start off really well, just giving making this guy a really sympathetic character.
yeah, that was one of my goals when I started writing the character. I kind of wanted that kind of aspect to him, where it's kind of him against the world.
Yeah. Well, I think you did a good job establishing that. All right, so let's see. You gave me a document with let's see. Oh, this is just oh, I didn't give myself everything I needed. I figured that you were just updating the last document. I
Oh,
need
is
to
that what you
send
wanted? Hold
no,
on.
no, it's all right. I'll just email the other one to myself real quick.
Okay.
It would help if I sent it. There we go. Hello, laddie. That sounds like that's already seems Scottish. All right, wait, let me look at this document again real quick cuz oh, okay. All right. I did send myself the right thing anyway. Never mind. Derp. Okay, so we'll start off with Gregory. All right. Well, first of all, everybody, what we're doing is we're working out all the characters, all the major characters for this book, um, before I get started recording. And actually, I'll be recording a bit while we're here, just so that I don't lose. Well, just so we can take advantage of the fact that I'm here and doing it anyway. So, all right, and so Antonio Idlefiber has sent me a list of scenes that have all the different characters that he wants me to make sure I get the characters voice is right. So we're going to start off with Gregory. The minor lord's son, rotund physique, has a high opinion of himself, even though it's not warranted. All right. And is this about what chapter are we in this
I think this is like chapter 3.
chapter 3? This is just for labeling's sake in my program.
And at the very bottom.
All right. Here we go. Dante's Immortality, and you were thinking the first book is going to be called Beginnings?
Yeah. I haven't really gotten to the immortality part yet. That's coming in the next book.
Gotcha. Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. I'm sorry about that.
All right. Gregory addressed the two idiots who were making sure he didn't. Gregory addressed the two idiots who made. Okay, I have a deep breather on. Make sure that's off. Uh-oh, is my program locking up? Man, really? Technical difficulties right now? Okay, it's fine. Turn that deep breath off. Here we go. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Gregory addressed the two idiots who were making sure he didn't shirk his duties. Roderick! Isaac! I have a job for you! They looked at him. Both of them were only a few years older than he was, and still in their late teens. There we go. I had to turn on my shortcuts button. That should be the period. They looked at him. Both of them were only a few years older than he was, and still in their late teens. Roderick was an ideal warrior with his enormous bulk. Even in his teens, he looked like he was chiseled from stone. He was easily the best warrior out of all the youths in Alizel and would have been in line for a position as a personal guard for Gregory's father, had he not been so incredibly stupid. His dopey face and mop of brown hair completely destroyed any intimidation his bulk might have brought him. Unsurprisingly, it was Roderick who jumped to speak first. "Gregory! We were told to stay here and make sure you didn't leave the gate. If we leave, we'll get in trouble with the guard captain." Gregory didn't bat an eyelash. He disregarded Roderick and turned to Isaac. Isaac was the one he had really been speaking to from the beginning anyway. Isaac stood attentive, waiting for orders. He had a relatively standard appearance, slightly tall with brown hair and a plain face that wouldn't be remembered in a crowd. Isaac was anything but normal, though. Not only did he have a somewhat uncommon classification of ranger, but Isaac was the most reliable person Gregory knew. Isaac had helped him with every plan he had thought up since they were children, despite the relatively large age gap between them. Always the loyal helping hand when he needed it. All right, and Isaac, did we get a slightly tall, brown hair, plain face? All right, is it safe to say this guy's a nerd?
Yeah, it's about that.
Yeah.
Or like a sinister kind of character.
Oh,
Either between those two. Yeah.
So okay. Let's try this one. "What do you require of me, my lord?" Gregory smiled. Isaac knew he wouldn't be the future lord of Alizel and didn't dare question his orders. It also helped that he didn't mind getting his hands dirty. The only reason Isaac was sitting out here watching him all day was because he had forced himself on some... Oh, forced himself on some bait? The only... Oh, where'd it go? I hear advertisement. Where'd it go? That's the problem with smaller text. Oh, there it is. The only reason Isaac was sitting out here watching him all day was because he had forced himself on some barmaid. Alright, so how did I do Gregory's voice again?
Roderick, Isaac, I have a job for you.
Oh, that's a little too close.
What do you
No, not really, it's fine. It's almost close to Isaac, but not really.
I want you to go hunt that bastard down and burn him alive.
Now, one thing I was thinking about one thing I always think about when I'm starting a book, is accents, because one thing that you said while you were just, telling us about, coming up with the story and everything is that you're more influenced by fantasy, and that this you want this world to be more of a fantasy world. And usually, in fantasy worlds, there's like that uh, tendency for people to use British accents and stuff for the people. Is that something that you care about? Is that something you want?
It's not something I care about, but if you feel comfortable doing it that way, that'd be okay.
Okay. So maybe we can do it regionally, right? Like, so maybe we can keep these particular characters, like maybe Dante and everyone from like the outer lands. We can have this American accent going on, and then like the deeper inland we go, we could possibly get different accents for different towns. Like like I said before, I saw that one line. I can't remember who it was. Some character said "laddie," which definitely put me in mind of a Scottish accent. So what? Let's see, who was that character?
Edward?
Edward,
He's
eccentric
kind of
noble.
yeah,
Where's he
I don't
from?
want to say too much there, but he's kind of putting on an act in that situation. So he might not
Okay,
regularly talk like that.
okay. And what region is he from? Is everything going to be centered around the region that he starts off, or is he going to start moving inland
He's gonna
in the book?
slightly move in. So that one's more slightly in. Edward.
Okay, so we'll do Scottish for that region where he's from. All right, but we'll keep.
I want you to go hunt that bastard down and burn him alive.
There we go. There was no change in expression on Isaac's face after hearing Gregory's There was no change in expression on Isaac's face after hearing Gregory's request.
I can hunt him down. Ah, damn it. I can hunt him down and deal with him. But burning him alive would be somewhat challenging.
Gregory smiled at Isaac's words and rummaged around in his pockets briefly. After a moment, he pulled out an ordinary-looking stone with a single rune carved into it. Isaac's eyebrows rose seeing the stone in Gregory's hand.
Use this. Just be sure to bring it back.
Gregory's words carried a clear threat. He couldn't afford to lose the enchanted firestone that his father had given him. Isaac nodded, then grabbed the stone.
Come, Roderick. We have a job to do.
But the guard kept... Interruption. Roderick was stopped mid-sentence as Isaac cuffed him in the head and began walking through the gate. That's a little too dramatic. Roderick was stopped mid-sentence as Isaac cuffed him in the head and began walking through the gate. Roderick paused for a moment, looking between the glare that Gregory was giving him and Isaac's retreating form, which was getting farther away. Roderick sighed, then chased after Isaac. All right, so we pretty much get those characters as soon... That's pretty good descriptive character building already from these three. I'm imagining many entertaining hijinks from these three, or these two. Maybe all. They're setting up a Three Stooges thing here. Okay. All right. Our next scene: Edward and Sam. Edward is a somewhat eccentric noble hiding his identity. Sam is his guard. Okay. So maybe he's putting on the Scottish accent to seem like a commoner. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that might be better if he's just putting it on for this scene.
Yeah. Okay. And let's see. Any idea what chapter this is?
I think this might be 6 or 7.
I'll assume it's 6. All right, so we're doing Edward and Sam here. Whoa. You ever have this thing where all of a sudden one of your ears gets this crazy ringing sound, like just boom, and then it just it just fades away?
Yep.
I don't know what the hell that is. And it seems to be like completely out of nowhere. It's not like something loud happened in my face. Dante awoke with a dagger to his throat.
Hello, laddie. Terribly sorry to disturb your slumber.
Dante's eyes snapped open. A middle-aged man with long ginger hair swept back into a ponytail and a lazy smile on his face was straddling his chest and holding a knife to Dante's throat. Dante looked down to check his combatant's glove and was relieved. Oh, his combatant's glove, not his combatant's glove. Dante looked down to check his combatant's glove and was relieved. Dante looked down to check his combatant's glove and was relieved to see the man hadn't taken it off. It likely meant that his classifications were still hidden. Just as he was going to blink out of the hold, a second middle-aged man with a serious yet tired face and stark black hair, a rarity in the Outer Edge region, came up from behind the first man and cuffed him lightly on the head. All right, and then this is Sam, his bodyguard.
All right, Edward, you've had your fun. Get off the boy before he pisses himself.
Edward got off him, still smiling. He turned to the other man, but remained crouched beside Dante.
Come on, Sam. There's no need to be so serious. The lad knew I was just joking around.
Sam rubbed his eyes and sighed tiredly.
We don't have time for this.
He said the words meaningfully, but got no reaction from Edward. Letting out another sigh, Sam continued.
If we don't report back to the main group by tonight, they'll send someone after us.
But look at his hair and eyes. They're so exotic.
Edward brought his face to within mere inches from Dante's as he examined his eyes.
Can we keep him?
All right, so how are these guys sounding so far?
Pretty good. Edward could be possibly a bit more upbeat if you wanted to go that way, but it's not necessary.
More upbeat? I can do it. Try again.
Hello, laddie. Terribly sorry to disturb your slumber.
How's that? Does that sound
Yeah, that's better, for sure.
Three. Hair. I just got done not too long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, last week, finishing doing male voices for the Greystone Chronicles by Dave Wilmarth, and he had a ton of dwarves, so I've got all this Scottish accent practice now. I'm excited to keep using it.
Come on, Sam. There's no need to be so serious. The lad knew I was just joking around. But look at his hair and eyes. They're so exotic.
How did that happen?
Hair and eyes. Keep him?
What is going on? All right, I have a deep breather somewhere on still. Oh, it's this frequency shifter. No, that's not it. Okay, nice TV. Sorry, guys. Ultra pitch. Here it is. That's what's screwing me up.
But look at his hair and eyes. They're so exotic. Can we keep him?
Dante's emotions were a bit jumbled as he followed the conversation the two men were having. At first, he was completely relieved that he wasn't about to be butchered. But then he was confused at the lack of hostility the two men showed him from his appearance. Those feelings... Oops, my microphone's slipping here. Those feelings of relief and confusion only lasted until Edward's last comment. After that, he felt somewhat indignant. Dante opened his mouth, about to interject into the conversation, when Sam cut him off.
"We can't take a boy into the dungeon with us."
Those words gave him pause. Dungeons were one of the most sought-after locations in all of Illyria. They were created similarly to the way the statues of the goddess were, but were fundamentally different. Statues of the goddess were created to utilize world essence where it was densest in any given region in order to provide people near them with certain benefits, such as the ability to receive the status. Dungeons used the same concept Dungeons used the same concept, but were the complete opposite. They too were in locations where the world essence was more dense than usual. The difference between the two was that instead of being discovered by humans and having a statue of the goddess built over the area to... Damn. The difference between the two was that instead of being discovered by humans and having a statue of the goddess built over the area to tap into it, a creature found the area and... A creature found... Okay, I see. Creature found the area and tapped into the world essence, and the creature found the area and tapped into the world essence, infusing itself with it. The creature would then sink into the ground, causing vast caverns to form from the infusion of energy, thus creating the dungeon. Dante was surprised by the news that there was a dungeon nearby. If there truly was one, he shouldn't just now be finding out about it. Adventurers from across the Outer Edge region would have been flocking to the area, and Alazel would have been a prime location for them to reside in between Adventurers from across the Outer Edge region Adventurers from across the Outer Edge Adventurers from across the Outer Edge region would have been flocking to the area, and Alazel would have been a prime location for them to reside in between explorations. After a moment of hesitation, Dante cleared his throat. All right, so we get our first introduction of Dante here. So he's, what, 14?
Yeah, but I think shoot for like 16 for the maturity factor
Right.
because it's more of a mature
Okay.
story in that way.
All right. Make sure, and I forgot to say this, but if you want to stop me at any point, feel free to. This is all about me getting the character voices down. The recording is like a secondary thing, just me trying to save time.
Okay, I got you.
So, would it be possible for me to join your group? Talking to the two of them made him nervous. Others usually didn't take kindly to his appearance, and although Edward and Sam didn't seem to mind it too much, he didn't want to anger them in any way. Edward surprised him with a hearty laugh and turned to Sam.
You see? I knew he would want to join me. How could he resist my overwhelming charisma? You're lucky I'm here. Without me, we would have missed an opportunity to recruit such an interesting fella.
Edward was clearly somewhat eccentric, and Dante wasn't sure how he really felt about the man's personality. But for now, it seemed to be working in his favor, so he didn't question it. Back to Sam.
For the love of the goddess.
Sam glanced at Dante's young face and right hand where the combatant's glove was, then let out another sigh. He actually had the grace to look somewhat embarrassed as he addressed Dante.
I'm sorry for my friend's behavior. Our group is technically open to recruiting more combat classifications for our dungeon exploration, but you look like you only just received your status. Without leveling your classification a few times, it would be impossible for you to join us.
Sam shot an accusing glance at Edward, showing that he was clearly against the entire idea.
Dante blinked in surprise, a little off guard by how polite Sam was acting. Excuse me? Actually, I have already leveled my classification a few times. That could have been better. Actually, I have already leveled my classification a few times. There you go. It was something of a lie. He had only leveled 3 of his classifications to level 2, but that gave him enough attributes to equal someone who was roughly around level 7 with a single classification. Sam looked doubtful and was about to open his mouth to speak when Sam looked doubtful and was about to open his mouth to speak when Edward cut in with a laugh.
Excellent! I expected nothing less from our new, exotic-looking friend.
Sam hesitated, but just sighed again.
Fine, but if he dies, it's on you.
Dante actually felt a bit bad for Sam. Dante actually felt a bit bad for Sam. It seemed like Sam sighed far too often, and Dante assumed his working arrangement with Edward wasn't something new. Working arrangement or working arrangement? What do you think? Which one is it?
Wait, what was it?
Is it Dante assumed his working arrangement or working arrangement?
I don't even, hold on.
Okay, so like, working arrangement would be like his job, or working arrangement would be like
when they're working together.
the current arrangement that they're working under.
The current arrangement that they're working under.
Okay. And Dante assumed his working arrangement with Edward wasn't something new. Still, the way he was speaking was strange. It was almost as though there was a hidden meaning in everything. It was almost as though there was a hidden meaning in every other thing Sam said.
Come on, then. If we don't hurry, Come on, then. If we don't hurry, we won't make it by nightfall.
Sam turned and started walking into the forest. Dante looked up, noting that it was still early morning, then followed after Sam. Apparently, their camp was quite a distance away. All right, so we're good with Sam and Edward?
Yeah, I think so. It went pretty well.
All right, cool. Next, we're working with Alexander, Lela, Alexander and Lela, brother and sister, that belong.
There might be a spoiler in the description there.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
That belong to
In the Lela one.
Okay. All right, so Alexander's kind of a meek guy.
Yeah, more of like innocent kid in a way.
Okay.
And then Layla's like posh noble, if that makes sense.
All right. Well, we'll go with some high British accents then.
Yeah, it'll work
with these guys. All right. And about what chapter are we here?
I think this would be around like 13, 14.
Let's see if we got any comments yet. Anybody talking? Nope. Oh no. All right. The man he presumed to be the captain was the first to speak.
State your name and business.
Dante was about to answer the man who was looking down on him from his horse, but was interrupted by a soft, soothing voice from the carriage.
Sir Andres, why have we stopped?
Sir Andres? Andres,
yeah.
Okay.
And he's kind of like a minor importance, but he's kind of up there, so you might want to go I don't know. The voice was pretty good though, but maybe kind of like less guardsman like, if that makes sense.
Okay. A little less rough.
He's kind of up there on the power pole. So
State your name and business.
How's that?
yeah, it's better.
Andres.
Sir Andres, why have we stopped?
How's that for her?
It's almost creepily good for a girl.
Sir Andres? Sir was a title given to combatants who were in service to nobles, who'd received the honor of knight. It was a title usually only bestowed upon specialized combat classifications. There shouldn't be any knights in the outer edge. There shouldn't be any knights in the outer edge region who were in the service of nobles. The captain who'd been speaking to him turned back to the carriage.
There is nothing to concern yourself about, my lady. We just stumbled upon some bandits in the middle of a robbery.
Bandits? I want to see them.
Oh, no, that's not her.
Bandits? I want to see them.
A second voice came from the carriage, this one distinctly more masculine, but still soft. The carriage door opened and a boy appeared. He seemed to be roughly around Dante's age. His head was framed by short blonde curls, and his features were soft, but he still had the high cheekbones that clearly distinguished a noble. As the boy popped out of the carriage, his blue eyes were filled with anticipation as he looked around, trying to identify the bandits. His gaze fell on Dante, and his eyes widened. Oops. Wrong button.
Wow! Do all bandits look like him? So cool! So cool.
There we go. Cool is a hard word to say with a British accent, because they, don't say that word a lot. He walked up to inspect Dante, who still held his hands in the air. As the boy approached, he brought more guards with him. And this is Dante thinking, I'm assuming, in these italics?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. The interaction wasn't going like he had hoped. Okay, so this is Lela.
Hold on, Alexander.
The most beautiful girl Dante had ever seen walked out of the carriage. She closely resembled the boy. Golden blonde curls that tumbled over... Golden blonde curls that tumbled over her shoulders, the same soft features and perfectly high cheekbones. Her rapture blue eyes and glossy complexion accented her cute, dainty nose and pointy. Her rapture blue eyes and glossy complexion accented her cute, dainty nose and pouty lips. He was mesmerized by her figure, which was flattered by a snug dress that Damn, where is my head today? He was mesmerized by her figure, which was flattered by a snug dress that perfectly fit her thin waist. Never in his life had he seen anyone so perfect.
You are always running off without me.
The girl lifted the hem of her dress as she chased after the boy, bringing the rest of the guards with her. Dante was now completely surrounded. 6 bows pointed toward his chest at point-blank range. When the captain saw the 2 of them, he frowned, then motioned to the guard beside him to clear away the 3 scruffy men's corpses so they would be out of sight. Oh, okay.
There were bandits, but we've already handled the situation. It would be best if you went back to the carriage.
Boy, Alexander, wasn't deterred in the slightest. He stopped staring at Dante's silver hair and red eyes for a brief moment to turn to Sir Andres.
If the situation has already been handled, then why isn't it safe to be out here?
Oh man, I'm sometimes I do voices in such a way that I can picture the character very vividly, and this character I already want to punch him in the face. Like, I already wanna, like, bully this kid and take his lunch money. Like,
The poor kid. He's the good one.
he resumed his inspection, reaching out to touch Dante's silver hair. As soon as I was gonna say it in the British accent. As soon as Alexander touched his hair, all of the guards surrounding them drew their weapons. Dante felt cold sweat on his back. He swore that Alexander was trying to kill him. Then Sir Andres just sighed and turned back to Dante.
All right, let's just get this debacle over with. What's your name, and what's your business traveling along this road?
He was more than willing to get the debacle over with, and didn't waste any time. My name is Dante, and I was traveling to Kengard to join a dungeon party when these bandits attacked me. Dante indicated the 3 corpses which had been unceremoniously thrown off to the side of the road. The beautiful girl who was standing behind Alexander as he prodded damn it. Beautiful girl who was standing behind The beautiful girl who was standing behind Alexander as he prodded Dante's hair gave him a charming smile. We are going to Kengard to join the academy Stumbling all over myself. We are going to Kengard to join the academy too. You should come with us. All right, so she sounds nice and innocent there, right? She's doing okay, nice and young. All right. He's a sweetheart. All right. Just checking comments. We have none. I don't know why no one's showing up today. All right. Next is Mia, Dante's friend and servant. Important character. All right. And about what chapter are we in this scene?
It's gonna get pretty hard to differentiate here. I think this should be around 16, maybe 18, between there. I should pull it up for the next couple.
All right. So what do we want for her? Or is this gonna describe it or well? Or this is gonna describe her pretty well here? Nope. Okay.
There may also be I'm not sure what I wrote there. Hold on.
Yeah, it just says important character.
Okay.
So,
We're good then.
yeah. So what do you think? What's her personality like? What?
Just overall friendly, more of like sisterly figure kind of voice, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Is she higher class, lower class?
In the middle of that, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah,
that'd be the best fitting.
Okay. Asking questions that Mia could answer seemed to be easier than having a regular conversation with her. What's behind this door? He pointed to the door inside. He pointed to the door inside his room. It was the only place in his new living quarters he hadn't checked yet. It's a bathroom, used for relieving yourself as well as bathing. Bathing. It's a bathroom, used for relieving yourself as well as bathing. Mia looked at him skeptically, as if prepared to answer his question on what bathing was. In Housing District 1, all of the bathrooms are equipped with modern enchantments. That includes both heating and waste disposal, so there is no need to use a chamber pot. Dante's eyes lit up at the news that the bathroom was fully enchanted. He was itching to go and look, but had more important things to take care of. The bathroom could always come later. Is there a place in this academy where I can sell some spare items that I picked up? He really wanted to go get rid of the items he had taken off the archers, as well as try out the combat simulation enchantments that He really wanted to get rid of the items he had taken off the archers, as well as try out the combat simulation enchantments that I don't know why I'm having trouble here. He really wanted to get rid of the items he had taken off the archers, as well as try out the combat simulation enchantments that Alexander had told him about. Mia nodded. There is, but we don't have time today. It's almost curfew, and we still haven't picked up your academy uniform. She indicated his tattered clothing. Curfew? The idea of a curfew was somewhat troublesome.
There were a few things he'd wanted to get done before he actually started swordsmanship training the following morning. That sounded terrible. There were a few things he'd wanted to get done before he actually started swordsmanship training the following morning. Top of the list was getting his shoulder properly patched up.
Yes, the guards will begin stopping anyone out. Yes, the guards will begin stopping anyone out after dark. It's fine if you have somewhere that you need to be, but they won't allow you to wander aimlessly. Of course, since you're a resident of Housing District 1, I doubt they would dare to cause problems for you.
I'm not sure how long I was asleep. Would we have time to get my uniform and get my shoulder fixed before my swordsmanship training tomorrow? Mia looked at both of his shoulders for a moment, unable to see the arrow wound hidden under his shirt.
Did you get injured?
Dante nodded. About a week ago, I took an arrow through the shoulder during an ambush. I got it patched up, but it's still too painful to crap. I got it patched up, but it's... Where to go? I got it patched up, but it's still too painful to fully use my left arm in a fight. She smiled at him in delight.
Of course. We can head to the Academy Healers first. Their services are free for any...
Work out my mouth, man. I should have warmed up a little before we started.
Their services are free for any students in the... Their services are free for any students in the Academy, and you'll get the best ones since you're a resident... Their services are free for any students in the Academy, and you will get the best ones since you're a resident of Housing District 1.
Dante looked at her for a moment, one eye twitching. Why was she so happy when I told her I took an arrow through the shoulder in an ambush? Does she really hate me that much? Or was she just happy there are Academy healers who can help me? All right, let's head to the healers first. How are you liking Dante, by the way? You doing good?
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Can we? I'm sorry to do it this
No.
late, but can we try a different voice for Mia, like less accent?
Less accent. Got it.
It's a bathroom, used for relieving yourself as well as bathing.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. Do all the lines. Super easy.
In Housing District 1, all of the bathrooms are equipped with modern enchantments. That includes both heating and waste disposal, so there is no need to use a chamber pot. There is, but we don't have time today. It's almost curfew, and we still haven't picked up your academy uniform. Yes, the guards will begin stopping anyone out after dark. Yes, the guards will begin stopping anyone out after dark. It's fine if you have somewhere that you need to be, but they won't allow you to wander aimlessly. Of course, since you're a resident of Housing District 1, I doubt they would dare to cause problems for you. Did you get injured? Of course, we can head to the Academy Healers first. Their services are free for any students in the Academy, and you will get the best ones since you're a resident of Housing District 1.
All right. That is Mia. And our next scene, Gregory and Kayla. All right, Gregory is an arrogant son of a very... Oh, okay. Yeah, Gregory.
Yeah,
So,
same guy.
we're just revisiting these people. Fine, and this chapter is about where?
The last one was 17. I checked.
Hmm.
This one I'd have to check too. Give me 1 sec.
Cool.
$21.
21.
And Lela, or Kayla, sorry, is a different person from
okay,
Carriage.
Yeah. Right.
Bad naming there.
Dante's enemy. Okay. Kayla is is this a spoiler or is this okay to?
Yeah, I'd keep that out.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So about how old is Kayla?
Like I think she's around 16.
Okay,
If I
so
remember
she's a
correctly.
younger one. Gregory POV. Oh, okay, so this isn't like Dante's not even in this scene, huh?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Wow, you're too strong.
Kayla gripped his muscular arm as they walked together on the way to the arena. It was nice to finally have some of the recognition he deserved.
I can't believe you're actually going to let me see you fight in this arena.
In the arena. Damn.
I can't believe you're actually going to let me... I can't believe you're actually going to let me see you fight in the arena.
There we go. Gregory puffed his chest, giving the girl a proper look at his fine physique.
If I don't put those commoners in their place, then who will? I'll show them the power that only we of noble blood possess.
Kayla covered her mouth with her hand, giggling at his silver-tongued words and quick wit. He used the moment to look down her blouse and see what he would be working with. Not bad, but definitely not the best either. Kayla was from House Stavens in the outer region and resided in Housing District 1. She wasn't bad overall. A bit thin for his liking, but she would do for now. Just another stepping stone for his glorious rise to prominence within the academy, and eventually the outer region. Because he was so kind and magnanimous, he would most likely keep her around. He wouldn't forget this person who saw his excellence for what it was. Perhaps if she played her cards right, he would even keep her as a concubine. Kayla saw him staring at her chest and gave him a smile, her lips twitching slightly.
We shouldn't delay. I can't wait to see your performance.
She walked faster, now moving ahead of him. Gregory watched Kayla's shapely body move through the crowd as he adjusted his pants to relieve some of the... That's a great line. Gregory watched Kayla's shapely body move through the crowd as he adjusted his pants to relieve some of the strain. He appreciated her excitement and would be sure to reward her for it later that night. With a smile on his face, he stepped forward, full of confidence and eager to show his prowess in the arena. All right. How did she sound? Okay.
I think it's pretty good.
And it looks like this is our last scene here.
Yep.
Archie and Will. And what chapter are we in?
18.
18. Okay, Archie is his swordsmanship instructor. Will is his training partner / sort of friend. Okay, you got any more details for these guys?
Yeah, Archie's a bit kind of crazy, like a crazy teacher, and then Will's he seems pretty happy at first, but yeah, I'd say he's like a pretty happy dude. Just kind of big, bulky, and always smiling, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then Archie, like, is he like close to Dante's age or a little bit older?
Will's about the same age, and then Archie's also kind of psychopathic. That's the best way I could describe him.
Okay, and
But like in an
Archie's
excited
age?
way. Like probably like 50.
50, okay.
40. I don't know.
All right. Stepping forward, he put a hand on Dante's shoulder and led him toward the other boy he chose. He pulled them both off to one side of the yard, then cumped his... Cumped. Cumped is not a word. He pulled them both off to one side of the yard, then cupped his hands together and yelled. Okay, this is This is Archie talking?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right, let's see.
Yard boy! Get us 20 wooden swords!
He
paused for a moment, then paused for a moment, then almost as an afterthought,
Oh! And bring over a healer as well!
why would we need 20 wooden swords, and more importantly, a healer? Archie turned back to the two of them with a smile. Put him in dude 3.
All right. What are your names and houses?
The other boy...
Sorry for Archie. Can we go less aggressive? Like
Less
more of like a happy teacher, but still kind of psycho.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
All right. What are your names and houses?
How's that? Say it.
That's good.
Okay. The other boy, who was also smiling, replied first. I am William, but you can call me Will, of House Savion. Savion? Savion?
Savion, yeah.
But you can call me Will, of House Savion. They both looked at Dante, still smiling, which somehow made the situation worse. My name is Dante, and I don't come from a noble house. Archie scratched his chin and just nodded.
Interesting.
William, or Will, didn't seem to register Dante's words, or didn't seem to care. Why do you look like that? He didn't say it mockingly, but as if genuinely curious. I'm not sure. Archie motioned for them to be quiet.
You two can socialize later.
He addressed Dante.
What do you know about world essence manipulation?
Nothing. Archie smiled and nodded.
Good, good.
He turned to Will.
You?
Will looked up as if considering his answer. I have a good grasp on the basics, but I've never actually tried it.
That's perfect. You'll both be starting at basically the same time then. For the next 3 months, you two will be sparring partners, so I would suggest that whoever is weaker doesn't piss off the stronger one. Now, where are those blasted swords?
Just as he said the words, 2 people ran up, a boy carrying a bundle of wooden swords, followed by a middle-aged woman in a priest's outfit. Archie picked up 2 swords and tossed them both one each. Archie picked up 2 swords and tossed them both one each.
All right, Dante. The basics are pretty simple. Pretty much all you have to do is manipulate the world essence around you into the weapon.
Oh, that's all. He stopped as if waiting for Dante to start. That's the explanation for world essence manipulation? Archie noticed his confused expression and seemed to remember something.
Oh, that's right. I would recommend only doing a small amount to start off with. I would recommend only doing a small amount to start off with if you don't want to die. If you lose control, the sword will explode.
That was his afterthought? All right. So that's the scene. How's he sounding? Is he good?
I think it's pretty good.
All right. Anything that you think we could do to improve it? Is he a little too scratchy, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a little too scratchy. He's kind of more of like kind of a crazy person, but not in like a overly psychotic way, like a happy kind of crazy.
All right.
Like he does weird stuff. Eccentric.
I'm gonna just start him over.
Okay.
How about like a John Cleese type of character?
Okay, you're gonna have to demonstrate.
You know who John Cleese is?
No.
He's like the tallest, probably the most famous of the Monty Python characters.
I'm sorry.
Actors. Yeah, have you never watched Monty Python?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
just try it out. We'll see how it goes, right?
We'll see.
Yard boy! Get us 20 wooden swords!
I like it.
Oh, and bring over a healer as well. All right. What are your names and houses? Interesting. You two can socialize later. What do you know about world essence manipulation? Good, good. You? That's perfect. You'll both be starting at basically the same time then. For the next 3 months, you two will be sparring partners, so I would suggest that whoever is weaker doesn't piss off the stronger one. Now, where are those bastards? Damn, didn't do it fast enough. Now, where are those blasted swords? Go. How's he sounding?
I think it's pretty good.
All right, Dante, the basics are pretty simple. Pretty much all you have to do is manipulate the world essence around you into the weapon. Damn.
I like that line, the way you did that.
All right, Dante. All right, Dante. The basics are pretty simple. Pretty much all you have to do is manipulate the world essence around you into the weapon. Ah, almost. Pretty much all you have to do is... Where'd it go? Pretty much all you have to do is manipulate the world essence around you into the weapon. Not quite, not quite. I'm like, that one's... I love that line, so I want to get it right. All right, Dante. The basics are pretty simple. Pretty much all you have to do is manipulate the world essence around you into the weapon. All right, how did that sound? That was good?
I think it's pretty good.
All right. And... Oh, that's right. I would recommend only doing a small amount to start up. Oh, that's right. I would recommend only doing a small amount to start off with if you don't want to die. If you lose control, the sword will explode. All right, and those are the scenes. So we're good on all your characters then?
Yeah, I think we might need to revisit Edward. I should have sent you another one, but he should have like a second voice for whenever he's not in that character. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do you
we
have
can just go back over the same lines, and try out a voice, and then we could figure it out if you want.
Sure.
It would be more kind of like Lela and Alexander, that kind of, because he's from that kind of area as the same as them.
Find him. Hello, laddie. All right. Hello, laddie. Terribly sorry to disturb your slumber. All right, Edward. You've had your fun. Oh, no, that's not him. Come on, Sam. There's no need to be so serious. The lad knew I was just joking around. But look at his hair and eyes. They're so exotic. Can we keep him? Okay, so this is... I'm like trying to use the same voice I used for the Scottish accent, but that's just kind of translating into sounding just like the dude we just did.
Yeah, I think it sounds pretty good though, overall, which is...
Okay.
But it does sound similar.
All right. I mean, we could go with a whole voice shift. If we go with an entire voice shift, would that contradict anything in the text?
Well, the text, he sounds like the text is different. His dialogue is much different afterwards. So he wouldn't even have the laddie or any of that.
Right. He wouldn't have the same, like...
He wouldn't have the same tinge to it. Yeah.
Right. But, like, does it say in the text that his voice changes at all? Or doesn't change or anything?
I don't think it mentions it, but
okay, cool.
There's a big shift in his attitude. So
right. If it doesn't mention it, then we can do whatever we want. right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
Hello, laddie. Terribly sorry to disturb your slumber. Come on, Sam. There's no need to be so serious. The lad knew I was just joking around.
I think that's perfect.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just remember that when we come to him later on in his noble aspect.
Yep.
All right, and well, I think that's about it, man. We don't
That was
really.
good.
Let's see. So yeah, is there anything else you want to tell people about about the release and stuff? I mean, so once I'm done recording, Sin will be sending you just the last bits of corrections
Okay.
because she'll be catching whatever other error, like, so she only went through your manuscript the one time, right?
Yeah.
For that first edit. So usually she would, like, if we weren't producing the audiobook immediately, then she would just go through it again. But since she's going to be going through it again while we do the audio anyway, she'll be, checking for errors in that listen through, and once that's done, she'll send it to you, and then it'll be at least another week before production's done once she's done proofing. So let's say she gets all of her proofing done by Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday. When do you think you'd be wanting to release on Kindle?
I'd say almost immediately. So if it's possible, within that following week, if
Okay.
possible. I'm not really sure on the timeline since I've never done this before.
Right, right. Well, as if I'm correct, if what I've heard is true, it's pretty much instant. Like once you have all your art and um, once you have the manuscript ready, you just throw it right up there on Kindle or on Amazon, and hit launch, and then maybe even like as soon as the next day, it's up. So let's see, today is the 7th. What is I'll look at the calendar. Actually, I don't think we'll be able to get it to you till the 19th.
Okay.
So if we get it done by the 19th, I'm falling. If we get it done by the 19th, then why don't you set the launch date for that Friday? Let's see, 19th to
23rd?
23rd.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll make sure that you can launch by the 23rd.
I'll figure out everything I need to do with Amazon, set it up first, and then should be good.
Like get that all lined up while you're
Yep.
waiting, so that all you have to do is push go. All right. Well, for anyone who's stopped by, thank you for joining us. I hope you guys are excited for this release because I am too. Like, it's cool to help new authors get into the business.
Very much appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming to me because you seem to have a great following on Royal Road. Have you considered posting to bookbrawl.com?
I actually just got a message a couple weeks ago. Someone said I should post it on different websites, so I've been considering it. I just don't know which ones I should do.
Definitely do Book Brawl. I believe I'm not sure who runs it, but I think Travis Bagwell runs it. Do you know Travis Bagwell?
Nope.
He wrote Awaken Online.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's like one of the top authors in the genre. So and if you look at bookbrawl.com, it's really well designed. It's pretty.
Okay, yeah. I just pulled it up, so I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah, so I mean, like post like the first third of the book or something up there, and see if you can get people to look at it. You got that shiny new cover.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, all right. Well, Antonio, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for guiding me through those. I'll be getting started recording the rest of the book tomorrow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So it'll take me about a week to record it. How many words?
I think the first is 145,000.
It'll take me a week and a few days.
Okay.
to record it. But as soon as we have stuff for you to listen to, the first draft for you to listen to, we'll let you know.
Okay.
And yeah, let's see. Besides that, we have Sound Booth Theater Live happening on Sunday night. That's a requests only. I wonder what's on the polls right now. All right. Yeah, you guys want me to sing Diggy Hole with a German lizard accent. That's number 1 voted right now. I guess you'll get your wish. Then the next 2 choices in the poll that are getting the most votes are Make Jeff Choose and More Boxy. Which I don't know what else to do for Boxy. Maybe I'll just do my favorite scene from the newest installment, which I'm recording at the moment, Fizzle Sprocket. I'll find a spot that I like in there and read from that. But Danny said that we had more requests today to put up, so there's still time to vote, everybody. Let's see, today's Wednesday. I'm doing Sunday at 5 p.m. Central, so check that out. And I don't know if you guys went to the party stream from last weekend, but I had a lot of fun with it. Charles really wants to do it again, and I think we're going to make a regular thing out of it, like a sort of podcast thing. And we've already come up with a name, Drinking with Charles, which I really like that name because, I get to drink for my job. That's awesome. Yeah, so keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group yet, the Sound Booth Theater Live Facebook group, go join, because then you can vote, then you can request, and you can talk to everybody else about what's going on with Sound Booth Theater Productions. And hopefully I will see you Sunday.